Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My 2 Cents, where I cover non-crypto related topics like pop culture, sports, finance, science, and automotive. And today, we got kind of a finance and tech topic going on. And, I wanted to do this video because I just recently, earlier today actually, did a video on Google affecting one of the crypto news sites. They're going to be shutting down, at least they're blaming Google for the shutdown. If you missed that, check it out. I posted it earlier today. But yeah, I'm going to talk about this whole situation. I don't know if you guys remember, about a week ago, 7 days ago, the internet went down for many people. It wasn't just Google. All different types of services went down. A lot of the internet went down. It was crazy. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I saw and pinned an article from Zero Hedge about this particular subject. And now it looks like we know why this happened. But we're going to take a look at all that in a second. Song pick for today is Nipsey Hussle, A Million. Love this joint off the Marathon album. We're going to rock out to that in the background. And welcome, guys, to another episode. And, I'm going to top this episode off with a solution, a project. And I got to give a shout out to MFT out on Telegram for this one. He sent me this earlier today. And it's an interesting project I want you guys to know about that may help mitigate some of these tracking mechanisms and methods that these big corporations use to basically use our behavior against us. And we'll take a look at that project at the end of this video. But first, we got to check out what the hell happened last week. I don't know if you guys had any issues last week. I didn't personally. I'm on the East Coast. I saw on Twitter a whole bunch of people. Stacey Herbert, Max Kaiser's wife, she had issues. Then I started seeing a lot of other people having issues from Google, YouTube, even non-Google related products were down. I got an article out of Zero Hedge that kind of goes through some of the issues. Did the government just test the internet kill switch? So this is before a lot of the news came out, but it looks like here it said at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it appears that Google Cloud affecting Gmail, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, among others, mysteriously and almost unprecedentedly went offline. This is true. Many people were affected. I don't know if you guys were. Let me know if you were affected by this. But Zero Hedge tweeted out at that time, this was on June 2nd, Google down, Google Compute Engine down, Gmail's down, Google Drive's down, Nest is down, YouTube, Snapchat, Uber, wow, and some other services as well. But Google advertising up, of course. Google Compute Engine incident number 19003. We are experiencing a multi-region issue with Google Compute Engine. I'm going to be honest, I personally have never heard of what this service called Google Compute Engine. I don't know if that's what they use to run everything on, but it said it began around 12:25, and that's U.S. Pacific time on June 2nd. Google said we're investigating an issue with Google Compute Engine. We will provide more information by Sunday. And one Google insider explains via Y Combinator. He said, I work on Google Cloud, but disclaimer, I'm on vacation, so not much use to you. We're having what appears to be a serious network outage. It's disrupting everything, including, unfortunately, the tooling we usually use to communicate across the company about outages. This is crazy. There are backup plans, of course, but I wanted to at least come here to say you're not crazy. Nothing is lost to those concerns down thread, but there is serious packet loss at the least. You'll have to wait for someone actually involved in the incident to say more. So look at this, man. This is what these are all the services that went down. Again, many of them were not even Google owned. You've got Snapchat, YouTube, Gmail, Google, Nest, Crunchyroll, Google Drive, YouTube, Spectrum, Vimeo, Discord, Shopify, Variety. This is sad to see how centralized our infrastructure is when it comes to the internet. It's solely, maybe not solely, maybe I'm stretching it a little bit. I'm selling it, y'all, but it is greatly dependent on Google. This is crazy. Google Play, Google Cloud, Instagram, Comcast. Comcast took a big hit. AT&T took a big hit. What happened? Was it China? Who knows? We'll never know, actually. Look at that. Twitter was down as well. FanDuel, PlayStation Network, and Facebook. Article goes on to say, so far, no one blamed Russia yet. So look at the outage here, outage map. A lot of the East Coast. I'm surprised I wasn't affected by this, but it says East Coast suffering worse of Google Cloud outage for now. Amazing. Even some of France and the UK, slightly part of Denmark looks like as well. And then Zero Hedge goes on to say here, the notification gateway, ironically, to advise Google that cloud is down is also on the cloud and is down. So I'm seriously wondering, and you guys chime in the comments below, what the hell happened? Like, they're never going to say China successfully brought down Google or Russia successfully brought down Google. They'll never admit that. I don't think, personally. You know, you'll have to let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think Google would ever admit, or the government would ever admit a successful attack by China or, let's say, Russia? I don't think. Well, we do know Russia does do a lot of hacking, but we're currently in it with China. So to piggyback off of this news that happened last week, this article I actually penned even a few weeks before that happened, and I just never got a chance to talk about it. Let's take a look at this. It says Google not indexing recent content. It looks like another Google bug. Good luck finding new content within the hour. These have been some major issues here. We're not talking about small bugs here, people. It says and this is out of search engine land. It says if you're trying to find new content from New York Times, Wall Street Journal, or your favorite search news search engine using Google, you might not find anything. A potential bug with Google search this morning is not bringing up content from many news outlets posted within the past hour. So this is what we were experiencing. Some were, or actually everyone, because of this bug, were experiencing back on May 22nd. And again, I pinned this article to talk about, and I just never got around to it. But when I saw what happened with the outage last week, and then we've got what happened to CCN, which is a crypto news related site. This new Google algorithm update pretty much killed their traffic. I'm starting to put pieces together, man. I don't know what's going on. It says a 1 hour filter. Just to be clear, you need to filter the Google search results to just show pages found within the past hour, and that's essentially how you'll be able to see that it's not pulling and querying the proper content. This appears to be a bug, the website says. We're not sure if it's an indexing bug, a bug with Google search filters and tools, or something else. We email Google for a statement. It says why it matters. If you are publishing timely and fresh content around news topics, searches using Google may not be able to be found through this method. It goes on to say here, Google recent bugs. Just last month, Google was plagued with de-indexing issues across the Google index. Now, I didn't even know about this. This is new. This is news to me. I didn't even know a month prior to this situation that happened on May 22nd, Google was having de-indexing issues. In addition, Google had an issue with selecting the right canonical URL and also had an index issue with Google News. So we're seeing this. I don't know what's going on here, people, but I'm just bringing it to your attention. I don't know if China is really going at Google hard. I don't know if it's just an internal issue. Just so happened that we're seeing these waves of issues with Google. But this is something we should pay attention to. I'm telling you. This is I don't believe in coincidences, people. I really don't. So that article is out of search engine land. And you know, really what you have to kind of think about here is, if it is internal, is it Google testing things, or the government testing things, where they're trying to see if they can shut certain aspects of news or information off to the masses. You know, we had this issue with latest news not being properly indexed back on May 22nd. That's a way for, if something happened, they could possibly cut that news stream, that news feed out. And then to go a step further, just last week, June 2nd, get a wide, like the biggest outage we've seen on the East Coast, at least. It affected people on the West Coast as well, and as I showed you on the map, UK too. But start connecting the dots here, people. I'm not trying to sound like silver gold, man, but you definitely need to connect the dots here. And the last article talks about actually what happened, the catch-22 that broke the internet. So it looks like after a couple of days, this article out of Wired talks about the issue that happened a few days ago. It says here 5 days ago, the internet had a conniption. In broad patches around the globe, YouTube sputtered, Spotify stores shut down, Snapchat blinked out, and millions of people couldn't access their Gmail accounts. The disruption all stemmed from Google Cloud, which suffered a prolonged outage, which also prevented Google engineers from pushing a fix. And so for the entire afternoon and into the night, the internet was stuck in a crippling Ouroboros. Google couldn't fix its cloud because Google's cloud was broken. The root cause of the outage, as Google explained this week, was fairly unremarkable. And no, it isn't hackers, they say, of course. At 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, the company initiated what should have been a routine configuration change and maintenance event intended for a few servers in one geographic region. When that happens, Google routinely reroutes jobs those servers are running to other machines, or sometimes, importantly, it just pauses those jobs until the maintenance is over. What happened next gets technically complicated. A cascading combination of two misconfigurations and a software bug, but had a simple upshot. Rather than that small cluster of servers blinking out temporarily, Google's automation software descheduled network control jobs in multiple locations. The result, internet-wide gridlock. So it shows you here, you can see some statistics on that outage, and it gives you kind of an outage of received packets, basically lost packets there all over the globe, man. Ooh, I wonder if someone got fired for that one. In moments like this, not all traffic fails equally. Google has automated systems in place to ensure that when it starts syncing, the lifeboats fill up in a specific order. The network became congested, and our networking systems correctly triaged the traffic overload and dropped larger, less latency sensitive traffic in order to preserve smaller latency traffic flows. Google Cloud lost nearly a third of its traffic, which is why third parties like Shopify got nailed. YouTube lost 2.5% of the views in a single hour. 1% of Gmail users ran into issues. So this graph here shows you kind of the Google Cloud outage affected endpoints. If you can see all the regions here. So London was affected pretty badly. Dublin, Chile, Dallas was affected. So you can kind of see Cali, Raleigh, North Carolina. I mean, you can go and read the rest of this article if you would like. That's their breakdown. That is their excuse or post-mortem report on what happened. Oh, you guys let me know. What do you think? Do you think that's really what happened? Of course, they're going to come up with something. We'll never know, to be honest with you. So you guys let me know your thoughts on that. Lastly, this is kind of tied into what this whole topic of Google search engines and how we rely on them and they rely on us, honestly, as far as our behavioral data, right? They look at how we search, when we search, and they have all these very complicated algorithms that are used to essentially serve us better, serve us content that is more in line with what we're looking for. But that data can be used for bad if it gets out of hand, if we allow it to. And because it's all piping through Google's data centers, how can we not? Well, there's a project. It's called the Trust Project, and we're going to take a look at that really quickly. And here's their site. It's thetrustproject.org, and it says here, news with integrity. We all think we can tell the difference between opinion, advertising, and accurate news, but how do we really know? So I want you guys to check this site out. Seems like a pretty interesting project, but I'm going to read an article out of Zero Hedge about Trust Project. And it says here, big media in Silicon Valley's weaponized Algos silence Dissent. However, this article is kind of painted in a different light. We know how Zero Hedge can be sometimes. Let's see what they have to say. It says, given the Trust Project's get richer impact on the online news landscape, it is not surprising to find that it is funded by a confluence of tech oligarchs and powerful forces with a clear stake in controlling the flow of news. Interesting. after the failure of NewsGuard, the news rating system backed by a cadre of neoconservative personalities, to gain traction among American tech and social media companies. Another organization has quietly stepped in to direct the news algorithms of tech giants such as Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Though different from NewsGuard, this group, known as the Trust Project, quote unquote, has a similar goal of restoring trust, quote unquote, in corporate mainstream media outlets relative to independent alternatives. By applying trust indicators to social media news algorithms in a decidedly untransparent way, the funding of the Trust Project, coming largely from big tech companies like Google and the Knight Foundation, a key NewsGuard investor, suggests that an ulterior motive in its tireless promotion of traditional mainstream media outlets is to limit the success of dissenting alternatives. Interesting. So it goes on the time. I'm going to drop a link to this so you guys can read it yourselves. On the surface, you go to their website, it definitely looks, legit, and it looks like, oh yeah, we're trying to do a great job and protect good and real media and all that. Trust indicators manipulate big tech algorithms, so the true power of the trust indicators come in a form that is not visible to the general public. These trust indicators, while occasionally displayed on partner websites, are also coupled with machine-readable signals embedded in HTML code of participating websites and articles used by Facebook, Google, Bing, and Twitter. A press release from the Trust Project last year further underscores the importance of the embedded indicators to alter social media and search engine algorithms. Wow, so I didn't know that you had these tech oligarchies and tech billionaires behind this actual project. How could it ever be in the best interest of us for them to sort and give us real news feeds and articles and such if it's going to be run and funded by those individuals that actually, it's in their best interest to manipulate and maybe not manipulate, but at least massage the flow of news in their favor. It goes on to say, of course, the most interesting and troubling donors of the Trust Project are Google and Facebook, both of which are using the very project they fund as a third party to justify their manipulation. I don't know, man. You guys let me know. I don't even want to look at these comments. I already know they're going in on this company, on this project. I already know. This one guy says a better name would have been Big Brother. Is that the name already taken? I will Google it. Just looking at the site, it looked pretty legit. I liked what they were looking to do, but I did not realize that they were, and it says it right on the homepage. I didn't look close enough. Google, Facebook, and Bing. That's Microsoft. Don't know how we could trust that. At least trust them to be audited or filtered in a way when they're the ones funding the project. It just seems like it's a conflict of interest. You guys let me know your thoughts on that. I'll leave a link to the Trust Project. I'll leave a link to these articles that I reviewed today as well. And you guys let me know. I know there's a lot of information to take in today, but that's pretty much it for today, ladies and gents. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. That's my 2 cents for today. I'm out of here. Holla!